Your research project is a culminating project for the course. In it, I want to see that you've been able to take resources from popular culture and apply them to either grief counseling or death education. You need to connect with me on or before October 23rd with your topic. The reason for this is that I want to make sure that I know that there are enough resources for you to be able to complete the project successfully. And if I feel there are not, I'll certainly try to help you to find a similar but appropriate topic. Be sure that when you read the rubric that you look carefully at each section to see what it should contain. The first is the introduction, where you present your issue and show its significance in our culture. In this particular section, you need to use at least 2 scholarly resources and at least 2 popular resources. And by popular resources, I'm talking about the things that we've explored throughout the courses: songs, newspaper articles, popular magazines, TV shows, etc. The second section is the annotated resource bibliography. And in this section, you're going to find resources, a minimum of 5, but up to 7 areas that focus on your issue. If you come up with some other resource, be sure to add that in. For each of these, you will give a citation in APA format. You'll talk about how your topic is incorporated into this resources, your own reactions to the resource, and then you have to explain how this resource would be useful in either grief counseling, death education, or both, and how you would use it if you were using it with a client or with students. So some of the resources that you can choose from are a trade book, which is a non-academic book from the popular press for children or adolescents. So a book that a child might check out from the library. The same kind of thing, but for adults. A third would be print news media, which would be newspapers or websites, uh, popular magazine articles, television programs, films or movies, music or songs. The third section of your paper is where you take this particular thanatology issue and talk about how it relates to our society. Is it a negative impact, a positive one? How do the materials that you have found and the materials in scholarly literature illustrate your opinion and support you? Be sure that you use at least 2 references from scholarly literature that are different from the ones that you used in the introduction. Finally, you're going to wrap up your paper, and there's some questions that you need to answer in the conclusion, and that would be what you have learned in researching this issue, and how that might be useful in your work as well as in your own personal life. And be sure to explain what you have to say in addition to stating it. Your assignment should be attached in either a docx, or a PDF file. And let's look at the rubric for the assignment. You'll see that readability is important. You need to be able to have proofread your work for grammar, spelling, and usage errors. If that's something difficult for you, have someone else read the paper. The writing place on campus will be happy to do that for you. Next, you need to appropriately cite your references both in text and in the reference section. Next, in your introduction, I'm looking for the way that you can interweave the scholarly and popular resources to thoroughly answer your question. Then, depending on how many resources you complete, you can get a different number of points. The next sections are the impact on society. Again, you need to have at least 2 scholarly resources, but you can add more points by using more references and making sure that those references really integrate into your text. And finally, in your conclusion, you need to answer all the questions and answer them meaningfully. If you have any questions about the rubric or about the assignment, don't hesitate to either ask in the Q&A section or email me about them. Thanks.